Coach, coming off a big road win at Kansas State, you got the challenge of #1 team in the country, Arizona. Just kind of your initial thoughts on facing the Wildcats.
Well, Big 12 basketball, right? Every night's going to be a challenge. You have an opportunity to play against a #1 ranked team in Arizona. I think Tommy's done a great job with his group, and watching them, I've been very impressed with what they do defensively and offensively. And we have to prepare for them.
Johnny, this is a team, Arizona puts up a lot of points. They lead the Big 12 in scoring. You like to play defense, obviously. What's your mentality going into this game and trying to contain that explosive Wildcats offense?
Well, they're very good. They play a high possession game. As you mentioned, they score over 90 points a game. So we have to make sure that we do our best to make them a half-court team. We have to get back and try to make them a half-court team because, of course, they're playing fast, and we want to play fast, but we want to play fast, with our tempo, not with theirs. And I think you can't try to play someone else's game. So we have to get back and really defend in the half-court.
Do they remind you of anyone you've faced already?
No, they're different. Their team is very unique. They have such a really good balance of perimeter and bigs. Bigs are very impressive in the paint. They're very active. One of the best rebounding teams in the nation as well. So pose a number of challenges.
You mentioned rebounding. Can you talk about the challenge on the glass?
Absolutely. They do a really good job. They're very aggressive. They have good size and length. And you can tell that's something that they really work on. And you can always tell when someone does something well, what they must be emphasizing. So they have to emphasize, their board play because I said I've seen a lot of teams. I haven't seen any team that rebounds the ball any better than they've rebounded it thus far.
Coach, Arizona may be a unique team, but this isn't the first time you've welcomed a #1 ranked team to Edition Financial Arena. You had Houston last season. What is maybe the difference this time around? I know it's a different team, but what's the difference this time around with the #1 team coming in versus the last time?
For us, nothing changes. It's always about our standards and how we need to go out there and play against that opponent. I respect both of those teams a great deal. Like I said, in this conference, it seems like you're always facing somebody that's #1 in the country, and which speaks well about our league. But for us, we have to concentrate on things that we do well. We have to defend and rebound.
What's your team's confidence level at right now? You played very well at home. Obviously, you knocked off a team like Kansas. What's the team's level of confidence?
Our guys seem to be in a good place. They're playing hard. They're playing for each other, and that's what we ask. And the rest of it takes care of itself. We have to be true to who we are as a team, and we know what our standards are, and we need to play to those standards every night. And tomorrow will be no different. We need to play, our style of basketball.
You feel like your team has established an identity at this point?
I think we are establishing an identity. I'm not sure if we fully have it to the level I want to see us, be at, but we're working towards it. Like I said, we're still a little bit of a work in progress with these guys. But the one thing I do know is that they understand, what our standards are, and that they have to try to live up to them every night.
Arizona's got a lot of talent, a lot of maybe future NBA players. Koa Pete, I know, is one of their top guys. What stands out about his game, and what kind of challenge will he be?
Well, he's just, he's physical, he's versatile. He's a talented young player. It's amazing. We faced some talented young players this year, and this is another one coming in our arena. So, really, in seeing him play, I was impressed with how he plays. Like I said, he brings a certain level of physicality for a young guy. He also, he can make plays around the basket. He can defend, multiple positions. He's going to be a really good young player.
Johnny, you've played against, I'm sure, a top-ranked team when you're at Duke, and you've coached against at least I'm sure at some point in your coach career. Players, I know you don't want them to look at the name on the jerseys, and we talked about that before, but how do you get them maybe not to worry about the number that's in front of the name of the team as like a #1 team coming in this week?
Well, because it's really about us. I think if they're very talented. Like I said, Arizona's a storied program. Like I said, they're well coached. They come in, they're #1 ranked. They have all the things that a terrific team has. And so we have to concentrate on us. I think if you start looking at all of those things that they have, all the attributes and rankings and names on jerseys, I think it can be a distraction for you. You have to concentrate on our team and the things that we've had to do this season to be successful.
Coach, what are things that you learned out in Manhattan that you want the team to improve on or apply for Arizona? I know you had P.J. Haggerty, one of the top scorers in the country there, and you limited him in the first half, but he ended up breaking out a bit more in the second. Anything learning from that you want to bring into Arizona?
No, definitely. You know, we have to be better, you know, defensively for 40 minutes. I thought we did a really good job for 20 minutes of the game, and then Haggerty, you know, he got going, and he's a terrific scorer. And so for us, we need to make sure we're focused for the full 40, not just portions of the game. You know, a guy like that, he averages 23 points a game. And so we need to know that he's going to, you know, find ways to score the basketball if we don't stay, you know, focused for the entire time.
Coach, does it mean a little bit more? I mean, I know you're facing Arizona 17-0. Does it mean a little more to be that one, maybe, to knock off a team that's undefeated so far?
You know, really haven't thought about that as much as focusing on us and what we have to do to be successful in the game. I hadn't thought about, you know, how I feel about it, you know, really other than, you know, they're our next opponent up. We know they're, you know, like I said, a terrific basketball team, and we need to prepare accordingly for them. And I think that's what our guys have been attempting to do.
Coach, a reporter in Manhattan asked you about Themis Fulks and his play style in your offense, and his ability to dish it out. What are you looking forward to seeing against #1 Arizona from Fulks?
Well, continue to play the way he's been playing. I mean, not to get out of character. He's been doing a really good job for us. He's been a great facilitator. He's also found his opportunities within our system to score the basketball. And that's what I want to see, him continue to grow into that role. He's definitely becoming an extension of our coaching staff from the standpoint of understanding what we want out there now, halfway through the season. And that's what you need to see, that type of development, especially with a player that you hadn't coached but for, you know, 6 months.
Coach, you have a history against playing against Arizona. They've had your number. Does that go into preparation about how to play against this team this
Well, actually, they, you know, I think they've had a lot of people's numbers. They've been very, very talented over the years. And so they're a really good basketball team, a team that has had a lot of success. And for us, we just need to continue to play the way we're playing and not get caught up in, you know who they are, like I said, and what they do. We know they're terrific. We know they're well coached. We know they're really talented. We need to just make sure we concentrate on the things that we have to do to be successful, and that's playing our style of basketball.
Your first 2 Big 12 home games was prior to the spring semester beginning. Students are back. This game is trending towards a sellout. What do you expect? What do you hope to see from the atmosphere tomorrow?
I hope the atmosphere is electric, like it has been in these moments, and that will be exciting for our community. I think when everyone comes out and rallies around what we're doing, we all part of the same team. That's why we say we're the hometown team, because we're all part of it, and we need them out here. You know, they're our 6th man. You know, they give us that extra advantage that every team needs in college basketball when teams come visit your home court. And so I'm excited to have our students back, and excited to have our community come out and rally behind us, because we're going to need everyone.
Health-wise, Johnny, are you guys okay going into this game?
Yes, we are.
Coach, whether it's coming off a win or coming off a loss, how do you think your team does in terms of turning the page and compartmentalizing and, you know, treating each challenge as a new opportunity?
Well, I think our guys understand, you know, just the importance of each game that we take one at a time. We're not looking forward, we're not looking back. I told our guys in this league, you can't do that. You have to have a short memory. Whether you win or lose, you have to be able to move forward, because the next opponent that's coming after you is going to be very, very talented. It's going to be really good themselves. And from top to bottom, this league is as deep as I've seen any league I've ever been a part of. So you need to make sure you prepare that way every night.
Couple more?
Coach, it was a big road win last week, and what was the locker room like after that? Was there a sense of like momentum coming into this one?
I think our guys are just excited to get a win. I tell our guys all the time, you know, it's very important that you understand when you win a basketball game how hard it was to accomplish that. So you should celebrate them all. You should celebrate them all, because winning is not easy. And I tell our guys that, like I said, all the time. And so every win, it should be celebrated. And then you move on after that. And so that's kind of the mindset we had.
Coach, when scouting Arizona, how important would you say in terms of the 3-point performance right there? You guys, of course, 3 points have worked out quite well for you so far. Arizona on the other end. So when you scout Arizona, what do you look at as far as 3-point, both offensively and defensively?
Well, offensively, of course, you know, that's been a part of how we play. And so we're going to continue to play our system. You know, we have our opportunities, we take them. And they do the same thing. They're very efficient offensively. They're very efficient behind the 3-point line. They're one of the more balanced teams I've seen this year as far as whether it's inside and out. They play very well together. And so that's where the challenges are. You have to guard the perimeter. You have to guard the bigs. They're all the threats out there. And so we need to make sure we're focused and understand the game plan.
Last one.
Just wanted to follow up on something you said a minute or two ago about, you've been in this game a long time, but you said this league is perhaps the most challenging you've ever seen?
Yes, it is. From top to bottom, when you're talking about teams from, I'm looking at every single team that I've seen so far, just very, very competitive. I haven't seen many times in my career where you've had 4 top 10 teams in the nation, number 1, number 2. I don't think there's many times that I've seen that throughout my career, and let alone the teams, like I said, that aren't ranked that I've watched and how competitive they have been in the preseason as well. So yeah, I say from top to bottom, it's one of the best, best leagues I've seen, and if not ever, and definitely in a long time.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks
you
a
all.
lot, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.